Hello everyone, this is James Bond. This is part one of the expert walkthrough for Dungeon Master for the Amiga. My personal opinion, the best version. Um, Dungeon Master I think first came out on the Atari ST. It was good on that platform. It was missing some sounds and emulation due to memory constraints. They really did a great job on the Amiga due to its amazing power at the time. Still a very good computer to play on. This is the WinUAE version. If you missed my part 0, that's how to set it up for this game and how generally to set up WinUAE in general for the PC. Um, so this walkthrough will go through the Hall of Champions. I'll show you all the champions and I will discuss the options of Resurrect versus Reincarnate, and I'll show you the four I choose to pick. Just personal preferences on what they carry to begin with. Um, you guys can pick whatever you want. You can level them up as well as you want. I'm just going to show you what I do. Since I played this game at least 10 to 12 times, I am pretty sure I'm pretty skilled at it. Alright, so now we're starting the game for the first time. It's loading actually off a floppy. You can't see that. It's a virtual floppy. Um, Game was never made for a hard drive except for the PC version, which there is a PC version. I personally don't like it as much actually as this version. I think it's missing some emulation. It was just a direct port off the Atari ST version. I wish they would have done it after the Amiga version, but they didn't. So, as soon as this loads, we will enter the Hall of Champions. Alright, so it's done loading. And as you see, I am basically a ghost. I'm Theron, and I am basically an apprentice for the master. And I cannot even walk into walls or anything. I have no health and nothing. I can't do anything. My job here is to pick 4 champions to defeat the Lord of Chaos. Basically, my master has split into 2. Order and Chaos, and he wants to become the middle, which is Lord of the Gray. Hall of Champions. Okay, here we are. Okay, this is kind of like level 0. You can't, there's no monsters here or anything like that. This is just where you pick your 4 champions to play with. Basically, they're all trapped within mirrors. And if you click on the mirror, you will see them. This is Ayado, and he has a samurai sword. And if you notice, as I pick it up and I click down on the eye, it shows you what it is. Not a bad sword. If you want to see what his stats are, you click on his eye, and you see he's an apprentice fighter and a novice priest. And then there's his stats: strength 43, dex 55. Strength is for fighters mainly, and hit points. Dex is for speed. Wisdom is for mana. Usually the more wisdom you have, the more mana you have. Vitality, I think maybe how much you can carry. The anti-magic and anti-fire are just against spells. He's the first one. I don't pick him. He has basic gear. The main thing I'm going to show you is the Resurrect versus Reincarnate. Resurrect will bring him back exactly like you see him. As you notice, his levels aren't that high. Apprentice and Novice are really easy to get to. So it's really always better to do a Reincarnate. Reincarnate, you can rename your character, and all your stats, these stats, strength, dex, vitality, anti-magic, anti-fire usually go up. Not a lot, but enough. And so you start out with a much stronger person. And then when you level the lower levels up, the deck his stats even go up even more. So by the time you're done, and I'll show you this, with level 1, um, you will have almost like 100 hit points. You'll have crazy, crazy stats. So I always say reincarnate versus resurrect. Alright, so we're not going to pick him. Opposite of him is Zed, Duke of Banville. A lot of fans have written stories about this guy. He has a lot of different levels, as you see, but it really doesn't matter to me because I'm going to reincarnate. So he's carrying a torch. I don't care about torch. He has some armor on. I'm not worried about that either. Alright, so not him. Alright, so you have to map this game yourself. I pretty much know it by hand. But there is no automatic mapping in this game. She's not bad. I've played with her before. She's got some good stats, but I see nothing really great. She does have a moonstone, which I think it adds maybe 1 to your wisdom. I'm not sure. For a good 2 fighters, this is one guy I like. I like Leaf. I may use him as a fighter. The reason I like him is because he has mana, but he also has very high vitality. And I like that. Wisdom is good too. So he's pretty good, well-rounded person. So I am going to reincarnate Leaf. And I will call him the same thing. I just won't give him a last title. Actually, I will call him Jamos. Last name title, so enter. Last name would be Bond. And you don't have to read, you can name them the same thing. It's just whatever your preferences are. Okay, so okay. So now I'm reincarnated. So now you notice that I have two. I have a right hand and a left hand. Right hand is your action hand, and you'll notice it over here. So you have different things you can do with your right hand. You can punch, you can kick, and you can do a war cry. In some emulators, you don't even hear a war cry. Yeah! I like the war cry. Okay, so basically what happens is every time I punch and every time I do a war cry, I raise my fighter skill, even though I'm not hitting anything. I think it actually, as you get into combat within a 2-second or 2-minute delay between a combat with a monster, you get extra XP. And but I just practice all the time. Now, kick is used to raise your ninja skills. So if you just wanted to raise somebody up, take everything out of his hand, and just do a bunch of kicks, and you'll actually gain ninja skills. I don't gonna practice too much. I like Stam because I like he has an axe, and he has good strength, but again, he has no mana, so that's the problem with him. So I have Leaf, and I'm looking for one other fighter. Maybe I'll just do his. He's got a little mana. He's got good health, great strength. Let's do him. We'll do Hissa. He has no items, but he's a fighter, so who cares? So reincarnate, I'm going to call him Slish or Sish. There we go. Now if you notice, when I look at him, his skills are higher than what you saw. He has 59 strength now. He had 58 before. Lost all his levels, but that's okay. Because he's going to sit there and do war crimes. Yeah! And punches. All that, like I said, is it gives you XP. So now we're going to look for a priest. And once we get a priest, which I remember my priest was, I think his name is Wolf. There he is. I like him as a priest, believe it or not. He has 30 mana. And he has, the big thing about this guy is he has a flask. Now a flask, if you don't know, is the only way you can create priest spells. Priest spells are always cast in a flask. A little spoiler, I usually know, and most people figure out, that the first spell is going to be heal potion. It's easy to do, and it raises your priest levels. Plus it helps heal your friends. So we're going to reincarnate on this guy. And I'll just call him Wolf again. It's no big deal. W-U-L-F. I'll use two F's. Wolf. Alright, Wolf's there. And you notice he has a... I usually put that in his other hand so he can do... If you have anything in this hand, it's going to restrict him if it's not a combat weapon, so you always put it in their left hand. So he's going to cast spells. So you go this, you click your player, and this is how you cast spells. This first level is your power. So he'll do low power. Second level is your elements. So for magic or for healing, it's always the water. And there you go. So now you got a healing spell. And how you cast or eat things, you click on the person and you put it over their mouth. And they gulp it up. And if he was lower on hit points, you would see his hit points go up. I just keep casting these to get XP. The good thing about these higher levels, or before you go down deeper in the dungeon, is you don't use food as much. So this is the time when you really want to practice. Now I am looking for, I showed you Boris before. He had a lot of mana. Here he is. Alright, so we're going to resurrect Boris now. Reincarnate, I'm sorry. For no other special reason other than his skills and his mana. So I'll reincarnate him. I'll just call him Boris, since I'm used to calling him Boris. Boris. And there we go. There's our party. Jamos, which is really Leaf, is my fighter. Shish as another fighter. And these will all be multi-class by the time we're done here. Wolf is going to be my priest, mainly. Boris is going to be my wizard. And if you notice what I'm casting here is light spells. That's the basic light spell. I always use the lowest level. Just to gain XP. Like I said, every time you use a skill, you gain XP. Alright, so now we're done. So now we're just looking for a way out of here. And once we get the exit, which I think is all the way down here. Okay, so we're going to the exit. So now you see the first hint, you click on something and something opens up. There's a lot of that, a lot of puzzles, a lot of places. Okay, there's your food. In this game, if you do not eat food, you will die, and water, you will die. So you need food and water. We got plenty on all our characters right now. Um, and that's basically on this level is just food and water to pick up. I usually just give all my people some food and water to carry around. And alright, so here's the level down, but before we go down, I'm going to show you a scroll. Scrolls are just for reading. You put it over your eye and you hold it down, and it says evoke full for a magical torch. I've already showed you how to do that. That is full. If you got the manual, it'll tell you what all these symbols mean. And that basically means even though I fail, I still get XP. That basically just gives you light. So I'd like to keep everything I can for now. I think scrolls, sometimes later in the game you can put items in something and get something out of it. So I like to keep everything if I can. Or then I'll throw it down on the floor where I know to get it. Now this is a water flask. So right now it's full of water. You can, I usually give it to my priest. You can fill it with water in various places in the walls. And use it for water and drink it. So that is that. Okay, so here we go. Altar of Rebirth. Anytime you die, if any one of your characters dies, you can, if you have enough any characters left, if they don't all die, you can carry their bones back to here and throw it in here, and they'll be reborn. You'd have to, and not every level, but a lot of levels have this. But the problem with that is it's best just to save and reload. It's such a pain to carry somebody out because they drop all their stuff on the ground, and it's not worth it. If you die, I usually say reload. Now the great thing about the WinUAE emulator is it has save states, and in part 0 of my videos I show you how to use those. So mine is basically if I just do a page up, it'll save the game. If I do a page down, it'll load the game. Actually shift page up, shift page down. If I do a control page up, I'll just show you that. Control page up, it'll ask me what game do I want to save this as. And you can give it different names. The default is quick save. I called this G1. Give it different names, and if I do a control page down, it'll ask me if I want to load a game. So you'll notice when I do further playthroughs, I will load a game to get us to where we need to be. A lot quicker than using the floppy save. I mean, it still works to use a floppy save, but it just takes forever, and you only get one save. So anyways, New Lives for Old Bones. Like I told you, this is a resurrect altar. So you just put the bones in there and you resurrect. Alright. Now, some corn, some more food. I just store my food right now. Usually when I get a chest, I'll show you a chest later on. You can carry those around. They can store items in. I put food in those to store. Okay, so here's the first tip. Doors are always have a button. Not always, but a lot of times they have a button. Just click it and you'll open it. And there's some more food in here, which is fine. And some cheese. Different types of food give you different satisfaction, consumable. They all weigh. If you notice, you have a limit to how much you can weigh. You never want to go yellow because that slows you down. So if you have to throw things down, you have to throw things down. Other than that, this is your armor. Leather is usually better than a lot of the other starting stuff. This guy has nothing on. This guy has an armor shirt on, and since he's in the back, I usually like to give my armor to the two in the front, because only the front guys can get hit. If you notice that this is Jamos, this is Shish, by their colors, this is Wolf, and this is Boris. Now I can move these two back and forth. If I wanted Boris to cast spells on the left side of the screen, I would move him over here. If I wanted to cast spells on the right side of the screen, I move them over here. I usually leave these alone unless I really need, like I'm out of mana on one guy and I want to cast spells on the other. So you notice I'm still casting spells, and um, that is it on this level, guys. We are done. I will probably edit out a little bit of me running around looking for characters on this level. Um, Torches, one last thing. You put it in your hand and it lights stuff up. I always use my wizard for my magical light, so I don't use torches much. I do save them because there are some times and there are some levels where you need a torch to see, and your wizard will not have mana to cast, so at least save 2 or 3. I don't recommend using them much. So, you'll see me using the keyboard more as we get into combat. It's for movement. And you'll see me doing a lot of the spells. And basically, okay, so I'm just training a little bit. Actually, it'd be better to train down a level. Alright, guys, this is the end of part 1. You saw how I did a reincarnate instead of a resurrect, and I got higher skills because of that, and I'll show you how to raise levels in the next level. The next level will actually be some combat going on. It's the first real level. Alright, this is James Bond and the first part of the expert walkthrough for Dungeon Master for the Amiga. And I will see you in part 2. Thank you.